Hello YouTube, this is Magician34 from the World Championship Qualifier in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a short 16 hours or so from where I live. This is the World Championship Qualifier Infernity mat, just in case you hadn't seen it already. The sleeves, which are also the participation prize, have this same logo on them, by the way. Anyway, I'm here basically to show you the deck that I used today in the tournament. It is Macro Skill Drain, super anti-meta. Runs triple Caius. Obviously I didn't make top 64. Didn't see me online now, did you? 2 Cyber Dragon, helps pump out the Cybers, or the Caiuses, sorry. 3 Thunder King Rayas, great against Infernities. Triple Barbaros. There was a somewhat similar deck to this that made top 32 though. I want to check it out online, go to Pojo or somewhere. Konami will probably have it up eventually. 3 DD Survivors. 1 copy of Exiled Force. Good for removing the big stuff that actually does make it to the field. And 2 copies of Banisher, especially good against Frogs. A good first turn drop, and you can protect him with stuff like Bottomless and whatnot, and Chalice protects him well too. 17 monsters, that's your monster count right there. 3 copies of Dimensional Fissure. It's pretty heavily anti-meta, which is part of what gives it strength. 3 copies of Book of Moon. 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice, a nice damage step trick. Quite good. MST. Brain Control. By the way, your only outlet to sinking in this deck, by the way. And Rhoda, basically just gets Survivor, but you can also access Exiled with it, of course. And that's 11 spells. And then there are 12 traps. 3 copies of Macrocosmos. And 3 Dark Bribes. Solemn. 2 copies of Skill Drain. Great card. Works on X-Sabers, Infernities, all the important stuff. Also on Frogs. 2 copies of Bottomless. And last but not least, Torrential Tribute. That does it for the main deck. Go ahead and get the extra deck out of the way. Runs 2 copies of Stardust Dragon. Infernity Doom Dragon, you can sync for him with, like, say, Caius and something you steal, like maybe an Infernity Beetle. Good because you often can have no cards in your hand. Red Dragon Archfiend. Colossal Fighter. Thought Ruler Archfiend. Black Rose Dragon. Armor Master, that's Survivor plus like a Stolen Gale or Breeze. Urbellum. Goyo Guardian. Brinac, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Flamvelo Urquizus. Magical Android. Alive Justice Cataster. And last but not least, Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. Play him carefully because, of course, if Macro or Fissures on the field, you can't summon him. Because he says to send stuff to the grave. Alright, and next moving on to the side deck. Prohibition. Good side in against Frogs, and also works on Infernity, so you can just name the Beetle and that pretty much shuts them down. Especially good for if they beat you game 1, and so game 2 you know you're going first, or in case you win game 1, then this is great for game 3, where you'll be going first. Banisher sides in for that first game play against Frogs as well. Starlight Road, good against X-Sabers because it stops Hyunlei, kind of reverses things, slows them down. 2 copies of Divine Wrath. These work on a number of opponents, but are primarily for Herald, because Herald of Perfection is kind of hard to stop in every deck. But this you can just set, activate whatever you're going to activate. When they try to negate it, you spell speed 3 over it with Wrath, kill the guy, and it ends up being an even trade instead of a -1, so quite good. 2 Phoenixes. This works on a number of things. It can be used on GBs if you want. It also works on X-Sabers pretty well. 2 copies of Twister, for anybody who might try to side in, say, Decree or Imperial Iron Wall. You probably won't see it too much, but there are some other things like Oppression, too, that you may want to side this in against. So, study game 1 and game 2 carefully. Same goes for Heavy Storm. And then also we've got Juju Master, especially for Gladiator Beasts. And that right there is the deck. And until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.